Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I am super excited to be sewing up the kids high-waisted pleated skirt. This skirt is super adorable and it actually is super easy to sew. I love that it comes with the option of putting shorts underneath it, and it's just got this cute little pleated look, so I am going with a plaid fabric just because I think it's gonna look super cute. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and grab one back leg and one front leg. I guess I say leg, but what I mean is like a half of leg. And face them right sides together. And I'm going to sew that outer edge. And you can tell which one's a front and a back because as you can see, the front goes lower than the back. So that's how you can tell, and we're going to sew those raw edges at the outer edge. Now you can go ahead, and I went ahead and already gave my bottoms a steam to give them that crease for the seam allowance for the bottom of the shorts once we put them together, because I want to go ahead and be able to sew that outer seam as well at the same time. That inseam right here at the end, at the crotch, right at the below the crotch area. So I went ahead and folded that, but you can go ahead and sew that outer seam first and then bring it over and fold it and give it that steam. The reason why we do that steam right there is because once we sew the two sides, it's a little bit harder to fold it, to hem it, but if you've already given them that memory crease right there, it folds really easily and it's a lot easier to hem. So we're gonna go ahead and sew, like I said, the outer, and then if you see like that crotch curve right there, that inseam right there as well. And there's a front and a back leg together. All right, once that outer seam and that inseam are sewn, we're gonna flip one of those pant legs right side out. I say pants, but I really mean shorts. These are shorties. And I'm gonna stick one inside the other. One is right side, one is wrong side, so that way they can be right sides together. And I'm gonna find that short crotch seam, the inseam right there, and match it together, and then go around the crotch curve all the way up the back, right sides together on that raw edge, and then all the way up the front. And we're gonna go over and sew that curve. And while you're at it, if you want to, you can go ahead and hem your shorts, or you can leave that for the end. All right, y'all, time for skirt. So I'm gonna open up my skirt panel, and we're gonna have two panels, so we're gonna do this for both. We're gonna grab our pattern piece and place it right on top of our panel. And you can go ahead and hem that bottom first if you'd like. I know some people would rather hem that bottom first because it makes it helpful when it comes to the hem later. It's up to you. We're just gonna work with the top and pleat the top. So we're not gonna pleat the bottom, but it is gonna be pleated. So, I mean, it's up to you. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna put my pattern piece right on top of my pattern, and I'm going to mark where those lines are. So I'm using pins, and I'm just marking right where those are. You can use clips, you can use a water soluble pen, whatever you want, like even little notches to mark those right there. Whatever you want to use to mark your pattern. And we're gonna mark the top and the bottom. We're not really gonna pleat the bottom, but it just makes it easier when we have both of them marked to be able to fold the fabric as when we get ready to fold. All right, when we're done with the one side, we can grab our pattern piece and just turn it upside down. So it's still, the fold is still right here on this side, and we're gonna go ahead and transfer those marks to the other side as well. All right, so I have my pleats marked. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start. So here's our first pleat, and some of you are gonna see that your pleat is smaller, that first pleat smaller, some is longer. It just depends on the size. Different sizes have that first pleat a little bit different size, and that's okay. We're gonna go to this next pleat. That's gonna be A, B, 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 A, B. Okay, so we're gonna grab A. So both of our pins on A, and we're going to fold it right to B. So we're right on top of B. A is on top of B, so we're matching, see where those pins are? And now we can go ahead and place a clip right there. Okay, so there, our first one is pleated. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab the next, so that's B, so this will be A again, so we're gonna grab this A, and we're gonna pleat it forward towards B. Put it right on top, so you're just matching, aligning those pins basically. And then we're going to clip. You can remove those pins or use those pins as your, when you hold it down. It's up to you, whatever you want to. And it's not gonna be pleated down here. This is gonna open up, but it just makes it easier to do when you pleat both of them. And you can even, because when you lift this up to go sew it, it might like move on you and get annoying. So you can even grab one of these extra pins and just like pin your pleat down. So that way, you're gonna steam it in a minute, so I mean, if you worry about your pins, you might not want to put them there. I don't know. All right, so that was B. So now I'm grabbing A again, the next A, and I'm gonna fold it, pleat it right on top of B right here, straight up. Look at these. Sometimes I'm afraid to sew like plaids because of the lines. You can see all the lines, but these are like working in my favor because I can see where the line is. Again, grab A and we're going to pleat. Whoop. Over to B. Make sure they match. And clip, and then you're going to continue to do that all the way, and we're going to do the same thing to the back of the skirt. Once we're done pleating all of it, I'm just going to remove these for now because I'm going to go ahead and give it a really good steam, because what we're going to do is we're going to sew. We're going to go over to the sewing machine, and this will be after I finish my front, because this, well, my back, because this is my front. Whatever looks better, I'm gonna use as my front. But anyway, we're gonna go over to our sewing machine and we're gonna sew a stitch line straight down to tack that pleat down. So we're gonna go down, and our pattern has a guide on what length to do, but really it's also up to you if you feel like you want to do it lower, whatever you want to do for your personal preference. But the pattern does have a guide on how much we say looks good according to our pattern. But anyway, every single pleat, so here's a pleat, we're gonna go right along that edge and tack it down. Here's another one, tack it down. So you can do that on your sewing machine. All of them need to be tacked down. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish. When you're steaming this, you may want to use, like, if you have starch, you could even use starch so that these pleats are nice and straight. I don't have starch with me, so I'm just doing the best I can, giving them a really good press so they look really good. I also need to be careful with the type of fabric that I'm using. I don't want to burn my fabric. All right, so let's do the front. All right, so I found out that one good way to get these pleats to obey is to actually grab your pins, lift up your fabric, and pull it towards the side, like pull it in, and then fold it over. I feel like that helps me get a really even pleat right there. It makes it easier than trying to pull it the other way. All right, let's head on over to our sewing machine and put in that straight stitch, or that stretch stitch right here to close it up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and with black. And I'm probably, you know, I'm gonna go look at the sizing on there, but I'll probably just stop right here at this white line, be my stopping point. It looks like that's a good stopping point. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to put our skirt together, put our yoke together, put our shorts and yoke skirt thing together, and we'll be done. All right, it's time to close those pleats. And what I'm using is a triple stitch on my sewing machine. I find that a triple stitch, it's got good stretch, but it also looks straight. So that's what I'm going to be using on mine. Triple stitch is like, it's a stitch that looks like it's got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's got like 3 little rows, 3 little rows, 3 little rows on my sewing machine. And that's what I'm using. Just like so. And we're gonna keep going all the way till we finish all those pleats. You may be wondering why I'm putting these pins sideways like that. Sometimes with knit fabric, I find that it can be my machine, not this one as much, but my old machine used to do it all the time. It would like to like hold on to the fabric. So a lot of times I like to use this pin to like help me move it along. But I do remove it before my machine gets to it, just because I'm scared it's gonna break my pin and fly at my face. And then I'm back stitching here at the end. Alright, so there they are. There's my stitch in the front. That is what it looks on the back. It is a stretch stitch. I'm going to show you, for those of you wondering what it looks like, that is my number 5 right there. It's my triple stitch. It can be used for a hem as well, or anything like that, but you can usually use another kind of stretch stitch, whatever you would like. All right, that wasn't too bad, was it? You can remove those bottom things now, the markers, because you don't need those anymore. Oop. And remove all those pins. How cute is that going to look? Of course, later I'll go and trim all those threads. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fold it and find the center of my pleated skirt. I wish I had my clippers, my scissor trimmer thingies around here, but I don't. All right, so I've got my center of my skirt. There's my iron turning off. Let it do its thing. And I'm going to grab, make sure that those pleats are nice and even right there, like they're facing the right way, because they could flip over and try to face the other way. So I'm gonna just face them all the right way. And then I'm gonna grab my yoke. Now, let me see, this is my back, I think this is my front yoke. This is my back yoke here, so this is my front. So I'm gonna attach, I'm gonna use this one as my front. So I'm gonna just attach like a little clip on here so I know which one's the back and which one's the front. And I'm going to match up those quarter point, that mean that half, mark that half, and match up the half with my skirt, right sides together. And like I said, for my back, I'm going to put this clip right here. I mean, yeah, this is my, no, this is my front. Sorry, this is my back. Let me make sure. Y'all are like, are you kidding me? You don't remember? No, you don't remember. Okay. All right. So let's remember. Remind me if I forget. The one with the clip, the blue clip, is the front. This is the front, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stretch evenly and lightly to get over to the corner. And I'm going to pin it or clip it. Because it's got these pleats, I'm going to use pins and I'm going to pin it inside, like towards the in, like, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Because it's stretching lightly. I don't want these pleats to open up when I'm sewing them, so I'm just pinning them. And then I'm gonna go do the same way and go towards the other side. And then do the same thing with the front piece, I mean the back piece. Ah, you're like, it's not the front, it's the back. You got it, I got it, I think. And sew them with my preferred stretch stitch, which to me will be my serger. My serger. I'm gonna go over to my serger and sew those on. Let's go sew it on. as I'm sewing, I'm making sure that my pleats are going the right way. And see that pin being right there? It really helps. I didn't do that with all of them though. I wish I would have, but that's okay. Alrighty-o. I just need to clip all these threads. Remember, we backstitched on these threads, so that way we don't have to worry about clipping them. We can just get rid of them. So then now what we're going to do, there's one pin lounging around here waiting to poke me when I least expected. Hi, Boulevard. Bo is coming to say hello. Yes, I'm still throwing my threads all over the ground. Okay, so now we can give it a good steam. If you are not adding, oh, I gotta cut the ones in the back as well. I haven't. If you're not adding your, if you're not adding shorts, then you may want to go ahead and top stitch now. I am going to be adding shorts, so I'll be top stitching at the end. But I'm just giving it a good steam here in the back. Steaming those pleats. Nice and straight. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab our skirts and put one face up on our mat, and then we're gonna grab the other one and put it face down right on top, and we're gonna match those sides, and we're going to sew them together, the front and the back. I almost cut my skirt because I was just going really quickly, just snip snip, and I grabbed my fabric and I went no. I would have been so upset. All right, sewing those sides together. I'm so dramatic, I know. All right, now we're going to grab our shorties. Shorties. And we've got our shorties are wrong side out, and so is our skirt. And do you remember what I said? This clip is the front. I remembered. Okay. And so this is the front over the lowest part of your shorts is your front. The back rise is higher. And we're gonna fit those shorts into our skirt. So the wrong side of our shorts is touching the right side of our skirt. And we're gonna match up where I marked that half right there, the front half, and our sides. And we're going to sew those on with your preferred stretch stitch. So we're going to sew them together. Again, the right side of the skirt is touching the wrong side of the shorts. Shorty shorts. All right, I am done sewing that. Now we're going to flip it open. And here is my short and my skirt. And you can fold that seam allowance towards, towards the shorts and do a understitch right here. So you would sew that down, so that way your shorts don't start poking out outside of the skirt, like when your kid is wearing them. So because you would essentially move this seam allowance towards the shorts. So these are my shorts. Let me try to see if I can show them. See, here's my shorts. So that's the back of my shorts right there. This is my yoke right here, and this is my skirt. So if I turn this seam allowance towards touching the shorts, and I stitch that seam allowance down to the shorts, right here, see the shorts, not the skirt. You won't be able to see that stitch. If that's an understitch, you won't be able to see it, but it will keep the shorts from when when the kid, whoever you make it for, is wearing it, it will keep it from trying to come up, like, you know, like bugging out like that and being, you know, in the way if you understitch. So that would be our next step. And you can use any kind of stretch stitch to do that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just use my triple stitch again. Actually, I'll do a zigzag stitch. You won't be able to see it. It will be on the inside. So I'll just do a zigzag stitch for quickness. All right, we're understitching, and I'm just gonna go through the side of my shorts. This is my short side, but make sure that my seam is my seam right here at the waistline is facing towards my shorts so it gets caught in there. One important tip of when you're understitching, try not to pull your fabric. I'm not pulling my fabric, I'm letting it do its thing, because you don't want this to stretch out your fabric more. You're just attaching those two sides together basically. So now if you look at it from this side, the right side, hold on, I'm almost there, you cannot see that stitch. You can only see it in the back side right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and steam that, and that should take away any waviness that your machine created. Alright y'all, I am obsessing at how adorable this is turning out to be. Super cute. Like, is it not adorable? Alright, what we need to do now is we're going to create our elastic, and now you're going to do this elastic part even if you're doing the no shorts option, because you'll have a double yoke. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure 1 inch from the top seam, from the top, and we're going to put in a stitch, a stretch stitch all the way around, going all the way around, and then leave a gap here at the back where we're going to insert our elastic. So measure 1 inch, and my inch is like right below like those little lines right there. So for me it's easy because I'll just go over there and I'll look at those lines and I know that my inch is right below it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it all the way around, stopping and leaving that gap where we'll insert our elastic. Actually, I remember that I have 1 inch mark on my sewing machine, so that helps. Alright, now we're going to grab a safety pin or whatever you do to thread your elastic. We're going to go under where the casing is, because we sewed that together right there. So when you open up your skirt where you left that gap, you can go right through. It's between the shorts and the skirt right here in this elastic area where the casing, where the yoke was, and we're going to pull our elastic all the way through. And when we're when we're back over to the other side, we're just gonna make sure that we get them, have them straight, and we're going to overlap them together and sew it by doing a zigzag stitch overlapping 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna go just do that real quick. Hold on. There it is. Once that zigzag stitch is done, you can just fit that elastic right through and then go back and close that casing gap, that little gap that you left. Close that up, and we are basically done. All we gotta do now is hem, and we've already got that fold on our shorts, so we just need to do the hemming fold on our skirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'm gonna head over there and hem, and we'll be done. Alright friends, we are done with our skirt. It looks super cute. I love the shorts, the built-in shorts, the elastic on the waistband, because I made the elastic a little bit smaller than the waistband because she's got a smaller waist, so it will cinch in instead of falling off. I love the pleats. I think they turned out super, super cute. I love it. I can't wait to give it to my little niece. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. Come find us on Facebook and on Instagram where we have tons of people sharing their makes, and you can be inspired, and then you can inspire others with your makes. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.